The Warrens' most terrifying, forbidden files. Everyone's heard of Amityville and the Enfield poltergeist. They're the headline cases from the careers of Ed and Lorraine Warren, the world's most famous paranormal investigators. But what about the stories that were too disturbing to share? The Warrens themselves claimed they handled over 10,000 cases. They were famous for confronting demons, cleansing homes, and locking away cursed objects. But some stories, it said, were so dark they were kept from the public. These are the accounts that, according to the lore, pushed the Warrens to their limits and challenged their faith. Today we're looking at the legends behind their most terrifying, so-called forbidden files. From poltergeists that reportedly laid siege to entire families, to curses that allegedly struck inside their own home, these are the tales they were supposedly hesitant to tell. Section 1. The Donovan Family Siege. Our first story reportedly comes from the Warrens' private files in 1974 in West Hartford, Connecticut. They considered it one of the most violent, diabolical hauntings they ever saw. The story begins with a lonely 19-year-old, Patty Donovan, who turned to a Ouija board for companionship. She believed she was talking to the spirit of a charming teenage boy, and for a year, their relationship grew through the board. But when Patty asked the spirit to show itself, the story goes that all hell broke loose. What followed was a reported 60-day paranormal assault on the Donovan home. It started with bizarre vandalism. Car engines were mysteriously taken apart, and shrubs were ripped from the ground. Soon, the activity moved inside. A constant pounding echoed through the walls, and religious pictures were allegedly torn from their frames. The activity escalated with terrifying speed, according to the Warrens' account. A 250-pound dresser was said to have levitated 6 feet in the air, and chairs would lift and slam back down. The family claimed they were tormented by the disembodied sounds of a crying kitten that would morph into a wailing baby. The climax was a supposed rain of stones on the house, an event the Warrens claimed was witnessed by local police, where rocks appeared 20 feet above the roof and zigzagged down slowly. After fleeing to a hotel only to have the entity supposedly follow them and trash their room, the family returned home to find even greater chaos. Ed Warren would later call the case a diabolical siege, and Lorraine claimed the negative energy was almost overwhelming. This account, a relentless and personal assault on a family, remains one of the most intense stories in the Warrens' records. A chilling legend of how a simple invitation with a Ouija board could supposedly unleash something truly malevolent. Section 2. The South End Werewolf. From a suburban haunting, our next file takes us to Southend-on-Sea, England, for one of the strangest cases the Warrens ever documented. This is the story of Bill Ramsey, a man who claimed that since childhood, he'd been plagued by fits of animalistic rage. The case became the subject of the Warrens' 1991 book, Werewolf, a true story of demonic possession. Ramsey's ordeal allegedly began when he was just 9 years old, when he suddenly felt an icy chill and was overcome by a force that he said contorted his hands into claws. As an adult, these episodes returned with shocking violence. He bit several people, including a nurse and a police officer, and displayed what was described as superhuman strength. Fearing he was a danger to his own family, Ramsey's wife contacted the Warrens for help. Ed and Lorraine became convinced that Ramsey was not mentally ill, but possessed by a lycanthropic, or werewolf, demon. They arranged to fly him to Connecticut for an exorcism to be performed by their associate, Bishop Robert McKenna. What the Warrens claim happened during that exorcism is the stuff of nightmares. As Bishop McKenna began the rite on July 28, 1989, they say Ramsey's body began to physically change. According to their book, his back arched, his hands twisted into claws, and he let out guttural howls that filled the church. They allege that the force inside him was so powerful, he broke his restraints and at one point threw the grown bishop across the room. After a prolonged and violent struggle, the entity was reportedly cast out. Ramsey collapsed, exhausted, but finally free. The Warrens considered the Southend werewolf case a landmark event, a true battle against a non-human demonic force. While no photographic evidence of the alleged physical transformation exists, the detailed, terrifying account in their book serves as a stark piece of lore about the horrifying forms possession can supposedly take. These stories are just a glimpse into the darkness the Warrens claim to confront. It's a good reminder that for every haunting that makes headlines, there are countless others that remain hidden in the shadows. If you find these explorations into the unknown as fascinating as we do, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Let us know in the comments which case has chilled you the most so far. Now let's get back to the files. Section 3. The museum's darkest secrets. For our third file, we're not looking at a single case, but at the final resting place for hundreds of allegedly malevolent objects, the Warrens' Occult Museum. Housed in their Monroe, Connecticut home, the museum contains artifacts collected over a lifetime. While the Annabelle doll is its most famous resident, the museum holds objects with lore so dark they make Annabelle seem tame. The museum itself has been closed for years due to zoning issues, but the legends of what's inside live on. First, there is the Shadow Doll. According to the lore spun around this object, this terrifying doll was created using black magic to invade your dreams and kill you in your sleep. It's a nightmarish creation, reportedly made from human and animal bones, with a real human tooth in its mouth. The story claims its creator would mail a photo of the doll to a victim, and just looking at the picture was enough to forge a connection. The doll would then appear in the person's dreams, causing nightmares so terrifying they could trigger a fatal heart attack. The Warrens' files claim several deaths were attributed to the doll before they acquired it and locked it away. Next, there's the Satanic Idol. The story, often told by the Warrens' son-in-law Tony Spera, says a hunter found the 6-foot-tall figure in the woods of Sandy Hook, Connecticut, around 1991. As the disturbed hunter left the woods, he claimed he was silently guided out by a mysterious man dressed all in black. The hunter contacted Ed Warren, who believed the man in black was a high priest from a local satanic cult. Ed and the hunter retrieved the idol, but according to the legend, the consequences were immediate. The story goes that Lorraine Warren fell gravely ill with an unexplainable sickness. Ed believed a curse had been placed on his family as payback for taking the idol. He performed a binding ritual and placed the idol in the museum, where it remains a testament to the real-world dangers the Warrens believed they faced. Section 4. The Lost Case in Japan. Our final file is perhaps the most mysterious of all, a piece of Warren lore that exists mostly in whispers and fragmented online clips. It centers on a trip the Warrens reportedly took to Japan in the early 2000s to investigate haunted tunnels. While there, they were allegedly asked to help with the exorcism of a young woman named Teresa. What makes this case so chilling is the alleged footage that has surfaced. The clips appear to show Lorraine trying to exorcise Teresa, who writhes on the floor and speaks in a guttural, demonic voice. In the most disturbing part of the footage, the entity possessing Teresa, who reportedly spoke no English, taunts Lorraine fluently in her own language. The footage is raw and frightening, a far cry from their more famous American cases. But the story takes a darker, more personal turn. It was after this period that Ed Warren's health began to significantly decline. He had suffered a stroke in 2001 and passed away in 2006. While there is no official confirmation linking the events, the lore surrounding the case suggests a connection. Did a spiritual battle in Japan take a permanent toll on the world's most seasoned demonologist? The case of Teresa's exorcism remains an enigma. With very little official information, it's a true forbidden file, a dark footnote at the end of Ed Warren's career, suggesting that even after a lifetime of fighting monsters, there might have been one that fought back in a way they never expected. Conclusion. The public knows the Warrens for the hauntings that made them famous, but these forbidden files tell a different story. They're tales where the evil was allegedly so potent and the fight so brutal that victory came at a great cost. The siege of the Donovan family, the werewolf demon of South End, the cursed objects in the museum, and the lost exorcism in Japan. These stories reveal the true depth of the darkness the Warrens claim to have confronted. These accounts, drawn from the lore and private records of their career, paint a picture of a world far more terrifying than most of us can imagine. And they leave us with a chilling question. If these are the stories they were afraid to tell, what other horrors might they have taken to their graves? Thanks for joining us on this journey into the Warrens' most terrifying forbidden files. Which of these legends do you find the most disturbing? Let us know in the comments. And if you want to explore more of the dark and unexplainable, don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay safe and be wary of the shadows.